Well, good morning, boys and girls, and mommies and daddies, and grandmommies and grandpoppies. Today's story is the boys' volleyball tryouts. Oh, wow. It had been a long summer, and if you remember one of our stories at the beginning of summer, all the boys, except for Frankie Fox and Ollie the Otter, because they were small, the boys had tried out for different sports, for the summer leagues, the little league kids. And they all had made the basketball and the football and the baseball teams. So that was Ollie the Alligator and Little Bad Wolf and the three little pigs, Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly. Well, they had decided, hi Teresa, nice to see you. They had decided that at the end of their leagues, they had decided that they wanted to all try out for their team, for their school, because this was so exciting. This was their first grade, and they were so excited to do these things, like all the big boys that they knew. So they figured out that everyone would try for the same sport, and then if somebody didn't make it, that was okay, because the ones that did would teach the ones that didn't make it how to play, so that the next year they could all get on the team. Oh my goodness gracious. Today was the day of the first sport at school, and it was volleyball. Now, some people think that that's a girls' game, but really, it's a boys' game too. And they throw that ball hard too. Well, oh my goodness gracious, they went to the tryouts, and the coach's name was Coach Ganarella. And he told all the boys, he says, now my name is hard to say, so I'm going to say that you can call me Coach Tom, because my name is Tom Ganarella. I'm Italian, so that's why I have such a strange name. Not that all Italians have strange names. Anyway, so they tried out, and they did the different drills that he asked them to, and everybody was having such a good time. And he says, okay, tomorrow I will put on the bulletin board the boys' names that made the team. Now, today is Monday. We have our tryouts, and tomorrow is Tuesday. So all of you boys, be prepared to stay for practice. And the boys' names that I put up on the board, that's the team, and you have practice every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday. Okay? 3 days, and Friday, he looked at all the boys, he said, Friday is our game. And we are playing the team down the road, and they're pretty good. And I'll tell you more about that team later. All the boys were so excited. Oh my goodness gracious, they just didn't know what to do. They were so excited. So they did all the drills that Coach Tom asked them to do, and they were feeling pretty good about themselves. Well, there was only 14 boys who tried out. And so they were kind of figuring, I wonder if he just picks the right number of boys, well, then we won't have anybody sitting on the bench to if we get tired, we need some substitutes, don't we? And Little Bad Wolf says, well, that's what I thought too. And Allie the Alligator says, I bet you that Coach Tom picks all of us because there's only 14 of us. Well, they went home that night and they told their mamas and their daddies all about what had happened, and they were so excited. And sure enough, next morning they got to school, and don't you know that Coach Tom picked all 14 of those kids because he had to. He had to have some substitutes. Well, they just, oh my gosh, they were congratulating everybody, and they were just so excited, and they couldn't wait until 3 o'clock bell rang, and they could go run down to the gym, and they could see the coach again, and they could get into practice real good. Oh boy, they were going to practice real good. Well, Tuesday was the first practice, and it was hard. And Coach Tom says, well, now our uniforms are going to come Thursday, and so I want you to pick out a number. You can pick your favorite number out and write it down so I'll know what numbers to put on the back of your shirts. Oh my goodness gracious, they were so. And wouldn't you know, at the end of summer when they were talking about what they were going to do, they were going to help the ones that didn't make the team and everything, they already picked out their numbers, and they did it in a special way. Piggly, because Piggly was always first, he got number 3. And Wiggly got number 5. And Squiggly got number 7. And Little Bad Wolf got number 9. And Alligator got number 11. Now, isn't that cute? That was so smart of them. Well, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. They come home Tuesday, and they were so tired. Oh, my goodness gracious. Mommy Piggy says, you boys can't even hold your eyes open long enough to eat supper. Oh, Mommy, we are so tired. We just didn't know it was going to be this hard. And she says, I don't want to hear that. You're the one that wanted to go out for this sport. You got to give it your all. And if you're tired, you got to work through that. And you got to be strong. Now take your vitamin pills and eat supper, and let's go to bed early tonight. Oh, they said, thank goodness. She had fixed them the greatest spaghetti supper, because spaghetti sauce was her specialty. And she wasn't even Italian. She was an American piggy. Well, they go to bed, and Wednesday they wake up, and they started it all over again. Oh my goodness gracious, here comes 3 o'clock bell, and they ran down to the gym, and Coach Tom says, we've got more drills today, and we've got something new to learn, and he put them all through the paces, and he was just, oh my gosh, he was helping the ones that didn't do so good, and he was such a good coach. He was known all over the area as being the bestest coach of all. Oh, they came home again Wednesday, not quite so tired, because they're getting stronger. And Mommy Piggy says, well, I'm so proud of you boys, Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly. I'm so proud of you. And they said, yes, and you're going to come to our game, aren't you? And she says, well, are parents allowed to? And they said, oh, yes, Mommy, it's going to be in the gym, and you got to come to the game, because also we need somebody to pick us up after the game. Coach said, you better be there by 20 minutes after the game is over with, because he's not going to stay around. So, Mommy, come to the game so you'll be there, and so we can get a ride home, and you'll have a good time. Oh, she says, boys, I just can't wait. That's going to be so much fun. Piggly says, well, we got one more practice tomorrow, Mommy. Tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, they went to school, and they were doing their schoolwork so good and so fast, because they wanted to make sure that they got all the questions answered right, and they read their stories in the right way, and they couldn't wait for the 3 o'clock bell. And this time they ran down the stairs with a big smile on their face, and they were ready to go. And Coach Tom says, well, boys, this is the last practice before our game. Do you think you can do it? I know we can, Coach. I know we can. He says, boys, that's the way I like to hear you talk. That's good. Now, did you invite your mommies and your daddies and your grandmommies and your grandpappies and anybody of your friends? And they all looked around and they said, I only thought our mommies could come because they're going to take us home. Oh, no, boys. Now, tonight, you go back home and you get on the telephone and you call all of your friends to come to the game. And the girls that's in your class, they can come to the game too, and their mamas and their daddies. Oh, Coach, we didn't know that. And Coach smiled and he says, yes, boys, anybody can come to the games and we're only going to charge them 25 cents. Oh, my heavens above. Well, they got home that night and Mommy had supper ready for them. She had made a big pot roast. And they said, just a minute, Mommy, we got to call our friends. Coach Tom said we had to call our friends. And so while Squiggly was calling, Piggly and Wiggly told her all what Coach Tom had said. And she says, well, boys, I didn't know that either. She says, I'm very proud of you. She says, Squiggly, can I help you? And he says, well, just find some of these phone numbers for me, Mommy, ahead of time so that I can call them real quick. And don't you know, he called Ollie the Otter and told him to come to the game so he could learn for next year. And they were going to help him anyway because he was too little to try out, this year. And told him to bring their mommy or their daddy or mommy and daddy. And if grandma and grandpappy wanted to come, please bring them too. And it was only going to be 25 cents. Oh, they were so excited. And so Squiggly called Frankie Fox and he called Patty Pig. And Patty says, can Sadie come? Can Sadie come too? Because Sadie's only this little bitty, tiny, teeny, tiny, 2-pound. And Squiggly says she can come and we're going to say hi to her. And Sally Skunk says, oh, that'll be so much fun for Sadie. And Mama's going to come too. Oh, that's good. Well, of course, you know who he called next. Mr. Farmer Brown and Mrs. Farmer Brown. And Mr. Farmer Brown says, well, boys, I'm so proud of you. Yes, we'll come to your game. We will be there clapping and shouting for you. Oh, Squiggly was so excited because the little piggies just loved Mr. Farmer Brown, and he knew that Little Bad Wolf did too. Well, Little Bad Wolf stopped there on his way home, and he already told them. So they were already excited about coming. And Mrs. Farmer Brown says, Mr. Farmer Brown, sweetheart, this is going to be so much fun tomorrow. And Mr. Farmer Brown says, Mrs. Farmer Brown, honey, I know we're going to have a good time. Well, here comes Friday morning. And Mama Piggy, she made some of her famous oatmeal to give them strength through the day. She put raisins in it for iron, so they'd be strong. She put brown sugar on it so they would smile, because it was sweet. And she poured a big glass of milk over it. Oh my gosh, that was the best oatmeal. Mommy Piggy is such a good cook. Well, here comes 3 o'clock bell. And all the boys and girls that wanted to stay for the game went into the gymnasium and they found their seats. And they watched out like this for their mamas and their daddies to come. And sure enough, mamas and daddies started to coming, and grandmommies and grandpappies started to coming, and even aunts and uncles started to come. They had such a big crowd. Mommy Piggy asked Mr. Farmer Brown, do you think this big crowd is going to scare our boys? And Mr. Farmer Brown grinned and he said, I don't think so. He said, our boys are used to doing things that most kids can't do, and I don't think they're going to be too scared of all the noise that we're going to make. Because we're going to stomp our feet, and we're going to clap, and we're going to say, yay! He said, it'll be okay. Well, here comes the team. Oh, their uniforms. Oh, they were so cute. They had little blue shorts with a red stripe down their leg on each side, and they had little red t-shirts with their numbers on the back and their names right across their chest. Oh my goodness gracious. That was so cute. So the pants were in blue with red stripes, and their shirts were red with blue letters. That was a real good combination. It looked very royal. Yeah, like they were big boys on a big team. Oh dear, the game got started. Oh, they were running back and forth, and they were just catching that ball and hitting that ball, and oh my goodness gracious, their little arms were tired. Their little legs were tired. Even Little Bad Wolf was tired because this team was a pretty doggone good team. And the coach had told them, now, they come from one of the schools in Tampa. And you know, the Tampa schools are bigger than our school is. So now they're going to have some big boys on their school. Even though they're only first and second grade, they're going to be pretty big boys. Oh boy, sure enough. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. But you know what? The end of the game was 24-22. My heavens above. And guess who won their first game? That's right. Coach Tom's team won. Yay! They were just so excited. Well, one of the mothers decided she was going to take a picture of the team after each game. And she was going to post it on anything she could post it on. She's going to post it on Facebook. She was going to post it on Parler. And she was going to start a little website that all the parents and the coaches could go on and talk about their team and talk about when the practice was and if the game was canceled. She knew all of this stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. Her name was Miss Cindy. And she didn't have a little boy on the team, but she had hoped to next year. So she knew all about this kind of stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. They were so excited. They couldn't even hardly stand still for the picture to be taken. And she said, okay, boys, remember the password for taking pictures. What is it? And they all said, all at one time, stinky feet. We learned that when we had our pictures taken, stinky feet. It makes us smile. Oh my goodness gracious. They were so excited. They just didn't know how to act. And they knew that maybe one day they would lose and they wouldn't feel quite so happy, but they thought, well, we'll worry about that when that day comes. When we lose a game, then we'll worry about that. And Coach Tom says, if you lose a game, we're going to have a meeting after the game. And they were kind of scared about that, so they thought, oh, please don't let us lose any games. Well, with all of that excitement, they finally went home, and they just couldn't hardly wait to get to the bed because they were so tired from playing that game. It took a lot out of those little piggies, and even Little Bad Wolf and Allie the alligator said they were tired, and they were big boys, and they said they were tired too. So they all went home, and they went to sleep, and they had all happy dreams. And with that, boys and girls, and mommies and daddies, and grandmommies and grandpuppies, we will say goodbye until Friday. No, today's Friday, isn't it? Goodness gracious, Grandmommy just can't get straight sometimes. How about we'll see you Monday? Okay? All right. Bye-bye.